Hi everyone, we're here at MDL Newshour and we're two members of the Skycoin team and we're going to discuss Skycoin and the relation with MDL Talent Hub. One of the first questions that we see a lot going on right now is how do the token hours work on the Skycoin platform?
So each coin has coin hours. So if you have one coin for 1 hour, you receive 1 coin hour. Coin hours are a way of allocating scarce resources. So if you have a smart contract platform and you have 100,000 users, and each user wants to run their contracts, there's a question of which users get their transactions in first, and you don't want one user who has 1 coin spamming the whole network and monopolizing the network. So what we do is we give the users coin hours and then they pay transaction fees. So if you own 10% of the coins, you get 10% of the coin hours, and then you're allowed to spend those coin hours to get services on the network. So in Skycoin, coin hours are used for allocating on our DEX, on our decentralized exchange. Coin hours will be used to pay transaction fees. On Skycoin, coin hours are used for paying transaction fees. In Kitty Cash, we use Skycoin coin hours for buying items and cat food and catnip and for breeding cats. And so for instance, in MDL coin, you guys are building an advertising platform. And if you want to promote yourself on the platform, you're able to spend the coin hours for advertising. So if we have 150 people and they all want their profile or their video promoted, they bid against each other in terms of coin hours in order to get access to the platform. So if you own, for instance, in Skycoin, if you own 10% of the coins, you're getting 10% of the coin hours, and that entitles you to 10% of the resources of the network. And those resources could be transactions, smart contracts, items in Kitty Cash, or breeding cats, or selling cats, or auctioning cats, or any action that congests the network. Like if I have a channel and I can only do 1,000 transactions per second, you'd say who gets those 1,000 transactions per second, and then users will bid in terms of coin hours for whose transactions are going to get executed. So the coin hours started out as a anti-spam mechanism, and Bitcoin has a coin hours. They have a thing called coin age. So if your coins haven't been moved in 4 years, your transaction has a higher priority than someone who just moved their coins yesterday. But the coin hours, the aging of the coins in Bitcoin is not fungible. In Skycoin, we like the aging mechanism in Bitcoin, and so we promoted the aging thing into its own currency. So, so in proof of work, you have a thing called staking. So if you hold coins and you stake the coins, you get more coins. We like that idea because then the people who own, for instance, Ethereum, when they switch to proof of stake, will receive more Ethereum, which they can then use for smart contracts. However, the creation of new coins creates inflation. So in all the Skyledger coins, we eliminated, we don't have mining, because mining means every block creates new coins. We eliminated it. And we have, so people say Skycoin's pre-mined, but we don't actually have any mining. So the pre-mining doesn't exist because there's no mining. There's minting, which is the process of creating new blocks, and then there's consensus. So we don't have inflation every time a new block is created. And so we can't do the thing that like a proof of stake coin does, where we give new users more coins just for holding coins, because that would cause inflation. So instead, we give the users coin hours for holding the coins, and then we let users expend the coin hours to buy services on each of the platforms. And so, for instance, in Solar Bankers, the coin hours are eventually going to be energy credits. Or we have a coin that's going to do CO2 credits, and the coin hours will represent transactions on the smart contract platform. And Kitty Cash is another way of burning coin hours. And then the decentralized exchange, if I have 500 people trying to execute transactions, the person who spends the most coin hours is going to get their transaction in first. So if we only have this many transactions per second and we have to throttle the network, the coin hours decide the place in line. Like this guy will pay 120 coin hours, and that guy will pay 20, so this guy's ahead of him in line. And so this is a way of managing finite resources and allocating them in a fair way.
Yeah. So to bring this back to MDL Talent Hub and simplify it, when someone gathers token hours on the MDL platform, they could use those token hours to buy themselves a promotion as a talent on the MDL Talent Hub to be seen by more businesses and bookers.
So advertising platforms are going to be a very interesting application. Like if you have your website and you issue an internal currency, the people who buy that currency can then use the coin hours to buy services. So it acts like gas. And in Ethereum, in Neo, they call it gas. And gas itself in Neo became its own independent currency. And every single Skyledger coin has these coin hours. And there's a lot of experiments going on right now, like Kitty Cash and the decentralized exchange, about how to create economies out of these coin hours. So coins work very well if resources are finite. Like if you have 100 pounds of gold and you have 100 coins, and the number of coins isn't changing. The coin hours are constantly increasing over time, whereas the currency is fixed. So if you have a fixed amount of assets like land, you use coins. If you have something like bandwidth, you have a 1 gigabit line, and if you don't use that bandwidth, it's gone forever. You can't store the bandwidth. So for those types of assets that are produced over time, like advertising platforms, if you have ad space that's not sold, it's wasted. So there's always more ad space, always more inventory, and most of the companies don't sell their inventory. They have a 95% of the inventory is unsold. So the coin hours solve this problem by allowing them to sell 100% of the inventory and then allowing people to bid for who gets that inventory. So, and then the coin hours acquire a price that's independent of the originating currency. So land, gold, hardware capacity is in the primary coin, and then coin hours are for capacity over time, which is rates or flows. So coins are stocks, coin hours are flows. So in Skycoin, we use coin hours for the store value, or we use Skycoin for the store value, and we use coin hours for bandwidth, which is created over time, which is a flow, because the network itself, the hardware is a stock, and the resources produced by the hardware, like bandwidth and storage per second, are considered flows. So we actually need two different currencies for those in order for the equations to balance.
So coming back to the token hours, will people be able to buy and sell those as well?
Yeah. They're their own parallel currency. So if you have if Skycoin is going through the roof and it's going to $800 a coin and it just keeps going up 2% every single day, and why are you going to spend it, right? No one would spend their Skycoin. And this is the problem Bitcoin had, is if it's going up, why am I going to spend it? So it's great as a store of value. It's not good as cash. Like if you want to, why am I going to buy a coffee with a Bitcoin for $1 if the Bitcoin's worth $20 in 6 months, right? That coffee would cost me $20, and so you just hoard the Bitcoin. And this creates problems if you actually want to build a real economy. So what we do is you have Skycoin, we give you coin hours, and you spend the coin hours. So you can use the coin hours to buy the coffee, and tomorrow you get more coin hours. So this encourages people to spend. If people aren't spending, there's no economy. So for the mesh network, we want people using it. We don't want people just buying the Skycoin and hoarding it. So they get all these free coin hours, and then if they don't spend them, they become worthless. So they'll spend them, and there is going to be an exchange, and you're going to have an exchange rate between Skycoin and coin hours and Bitcoin. And if you want, you can take your coin hours and buy services like bandwidth or advertising, or use it for trading on the DEX, or feeding doing Kitty Cash, or we're going to have a lot of different ways for people to spend the coin hours. And that's going to create an economy. And what we're trying to do is create the economy.
Yeah.
So
if I understand correctly, it's actually a clever way of encouraging people to keep spending within the economy that companies using Skycoin, Skyledger are building. For example, with MDL Talent Hub, as we talked about the advertising, you want to be on the top of the list so that employers see you, then they can use those token hours rather than not spending anything because of the price of Skycoin or the MDL tokens is going up and up and up, and you just want to save up everything.
And this encourages people to hoard the coins too, because if they're able to buy $100,000 in MDL coin and just use it to promote themselves, they'll just hold it, and it goes up and they make money and they get services. So this is like proof of stake, where people buy the coin to get more coins, and it's sort of a Ponzi. They're not actually spending the coins. They buy the coin and they get more coins just for having coins. So they put in $100,000 and it keeps going up until it doesn't go up anymore and it collapses. And this is a problem with the instability of POS coins. And then another coin is BitConnect, and they were even worse. They said, you give us your money and we'll pay you 15% per month interest or 2% per month doing is you just give them your money, they hold your money, and they pay out interest. And like, oh, I got free money. But that money is coming from other people coming in with more money. And so it's literally a Ponzi. Proof of stake isn't necessarily a Ponzi, but it's I'll give you more coins for having the coins. So I take my Bitcoin and say, Bitcoin isn't giving me interest, but oh, look, Ethereum is going to pay me interest. So then people buy Ethereum for Bitcoin to have Ethereum to get more Ethereum for free, and then they sell the Ethereum. And this only can keep going up until it stops going up and then it falls to the ground. So so what we did to create an economic platform that was stable was we had the coins over here, and we don't give them more coins for just having coins, but we give them the coin hours, and then we create a real economy. So Ledger and Skycoin is really the first coin that's creating an actual economy. Every coin before Skycoin is basically just like a fantasy football penny stock. It's like fantasy football real money stock market action. Like you can buy a coin and it can go to for 10 cents and it can go to $800 in a few weeks. So this is really exciting, but it's really like it's a horse race. The real applications of blockchain haven't been found. We have people creating apps, app coins, like Instant Messenger coin. And why is Instant Messenger coin worth $500 million? Why does Instant Messenger coin need $100 million to build an instant messaging platform, right? It doesn't make any sense. You can't justify the valuation of these coins based upon utility and based upon their user base. You can only justify them on the basis of everything's going up. So I'll buy this even if it's shit because it'll go up 20x or it might go up 1,000x. And if you lose your money, oh, I only put in $1,000, but I might make $1 million if it succeeds, right? So this is pure speculation. None of these coins have actual economies. And what we're doing with the Skyledger platform is we are trying to build real economies with real companies. So MDL coin, we want to build a talent market and we want people to actually use it. For Skycoin, we want to have mesh network and we want antennas on people's roof and we want people using it. We want video games like Kitty Cash and we want blockchain poker and we want to see actual people using the platform, not just the pump and dump. For solar bankers, we're trying to build decentralized energy platforms and then on blockchain, and then we have 4 or 5 other utility companies constantly approaching us, asking us when the hardware will be ready, and they want to do blockchain pilots and start, and then we have governments coming in asking us for the smart meters, and they want to do smart city pilots, and then we have Metallicoin wants to use the blockchain for raising money for developing mine sites in Mongolia and South Africa, and they want to start collateralizing assets like gold and silver on the blockchain, and so they want to do commodity-backed cryptos. And then we have institutional investors coming to us, and they're saying, we like crypto. Our investors want us to get them crypto. They want crypto in their portfolio. Crypto's hot. Crypto's going up. But they don't want to they cannot legally send their institutional investors, like their pension funds and mutual funds, to Ethereum or Bitcoin because it's not backed by anything. So these bankers, Bitcoin is just a speculative bubble backed by people's belief. They see Bitcoin selling for $100,000, so they say, oh, it's $100,000, but it's sort of like Beanie Babies. There's really no economy behind Bitcoin. There's no reason why Bitcoin should be 100 billion and this other coin should only be 5 billion. It's only, the value is in people's perception and emotion and how they feel about the coin this week and whether it's going up or down. So these investors legally the coin has to have a use, either be a use token, it has to be a future, a security, or derivative, it has to be backed by an underlying asset. So they have strict laws on what they're able to sell to the institutional investors. And their institutional investors are saying, give us crypto, give us crypto. We want to put 2% of our portfolio in crypto. And they're looking down this list of 5,000 coins, and none of them meet the criteria legally that they need to say this is an actual company involved and it's incorporated in this jurisdiction and the value is tied to some asset. So when so these exchanges are actually coming to us and they're asking us to launch commodity-backed cryptos. They're saying, get us commodity-backed cryptos, we want them now. And then we're going and talking to people and be like, you want to launch a commodity-backed crypto, and do you want to put silver on the blockchain? Do you want to put your mine on the blockchain? And so the first applications of blockchain were really driven by speculation and that by Bitcoin going to $1,000 and be like, oh, I should create my own currency. Look how much Bitcoin went up. We should do, and then we had the second generation. The third and fourth generation of crypto, like Skycoin and Skyledger, are about creating actual applications of blockchain. It's finding what problems blockchain is going to solve for society. and building real economies. So, and we're doing that.
And the other thing, going off all that, we're real attractive to the institutional people because of what he's saying, but then the people when we go out and we have the utility companies like solar bankers, Metallicoin, we're not just attracting them like, hey, come on. They're actually very attracted to us because our underlying technology provides them something that the other current platforms can't. The beauty of Skyledger is that each coin getting their own blockchain, a company like Solar Bankers or some other blockchain electricity companies I've worked with, they can't run off of Ethereum. Ethereum's where everyone's going, but legally they have requirements in terms of the speed at which they have to operate to be within legal bounds. And it's legally unacceptable that they could be slowed down or completely shut down for 2 days because Catcoin ICO'd, right? Because, oh no, Catcoin ICO'd, no electricity for you this week.
Yeah. So
and beyond just legally unacceptable, it's completely legally unacceptable. But even if it was fine right from a legal standpoint, that's fine from the customer standpoint, it just doesn't work.
So they were doing this, there's a huge utility company in Portland, like billion-dollar company that does combined electricity and gas, and they were doing an Ethereum project, and they were doing, and then the whole blockchain on, they started this 1 week, then Ethereum can only handle 30 transactions a second, and people started buying and selling these cats, and if 30 people in the world are buying and selling cats at the same time, every single application on Ethereum shuts down for 2 days. So, and then they had a problem, which is they had to they're only allowed to like misbill the customer 0.6%, and in Ethereum they can't go back and change the accounting statements, or if they're hacked for $20 million because they made a mistake in their smart contract, they don't legally control the blockchain and they can't fix it. So they have to control their own blockchain. So in Skyledger, we give every company their own blockchain. So if we have 1,000 companies, each one is getting their own blockchain, and our blockchains are doing a minimal of 300 transactions a second. So we have an infinite number of blockchains, and every blockchain we have is 10 times faster than Ethereum. And that's just the start. We're working on FPGA accelerators, and we're going to be getting into 10,000 or 100,000 transactions a second. And they can do whitelisting, which means that if you are a utility company, you have 100,000 power meters and one starts malfunctioning or gets hacked and spamming transactions, that one power meter can't take out your whole blockchain for a week. You just, okay, block it. And so they have, and then if there's errors in a smart contract, they can stop the blockchain, revise them. And so these companies are leaving these other platforms and coming to us because they say, we like blockchain as a technology, but we need to control our own blockchain for legal reasons. So we have a mixture of both private chains, semi-private public chains, like the data is public, but who the people are on the chain is private and only the company knows, and then public, and the company controls the consensus, and then we have public chains. And we support all three of these use cases with the same technology, the same consensus algorithm, and we have modularity. So we're able to, if they want a different minting algorithm, different consensus algorithm, different policy for coin creation and distribution, we're able to customize the coin for the customer. And then we're also providing hardware wallet. So for day one, we're giving them hardware level security, and we have our hardware platform, which is the Skywire miner. People ask us, like, why do we have a miner if Skycoin doesn't have mining? And the reason that, and why are there 8 CPUs, right? Why do I need 8 CPUs? And because each CPU is being running a different blockchain application. And that is the baby miner. That's only 8 CPUs. Only 8 boards are in the current Sky miner. We're going to have thousands of blockchain applications running at the same time on this platform. So as this network scales out, we'll have 100,000 hardware nodes that are just dedicated to running one blockchain application each. And if we need more, you just buy more and scale it horizontally. So this is like a cloud for blockchain. This is a way for companies to allocate storage and computation and communication. Skywire's communication is how the nodes communicate, is our networking protocol. Then we have a storage protocol called CXO, and then we have our application language, CX, which is our business logic language for both blockchain applications and the applications that are off blockchain, but that are going to be running on these nodes. So So the Skywire miner isn't actually a miner in the traditional sense. It's actually the hardware for this decentralized blockchain platform that we're building out. But it's a lot of work. We're basically rebuilding the internet from scratch, and it's not as fast as, like, people are like, I want it now, and you see an ICO and they just raised money, and then a week later they expect them to have 200 developers and the thing to be ready in a week. And the reality is we've been developing this for 6 or 8 years already, and it didn't just start with this. The mesh networking technology that we're using goes back to the 80s. People have been trying to get this technology working since the 80s. This has been 40 years to get the technology to the point that it can actually be used. And, but anyways, the technology's here, the networking protocols are here, and we're going to try to get this thing done and launched the next month. I really want to get the antennas on the roof, and I want to actually see this network physically built out. But we're trying to get that done as soon as possible.
Next up, what we have from our community as well is some of the people are asking, when will the meshnet be ready?
We've been running the meshnet almost 6 or 8 years now. So it's been running in prototype form, but we've rewritten it 16 or 18 times. We hired a full-time team. I think we have almost 8 or 12 people working full-time on it now. The dashboard's ready, and people are already using the VPN right now for work. And the VPN works flawlessly. The back end is done. I think that, so in January they said it would be done in February, and in February they said it would be done in March, and now they're saying late April. Basically, the core software is done, but we have to do the bug fixes, maintenance, deployment, auto updater, configuration script, whitelisting, depositing Skycoin coin hours, sending Skycoin coin hours, backups of the coin hours, so if the server crashes, we don't lose everyone's balances. We need an exchange for the coin hours to trade against Skycoin so that they have a monetary value. And we need the software for flashing the SD card on the Skywire miners. So we got the hardware platform was 8 months late, and I was getting yelled at this, and we just shipped out the first 800 units or 600 units a few days ago, actually. But then the software isn't done yet. So they're working as fast as they can on the software, and I think that we're going to have antennas on people's roofs within 2 months. And people are going to start building the network out on the ground. I'm hoping that by the end of April, people are going to start seeing coins in their wallet for running the node. And if it takes longer than April, we'll just start dumping the coins in the wallet, and then they'll do to get that started, and then we'll have the actual accounting done later, because there's just a lot of issues, like and they're not the core software is done, but then and then support. So another thing is, we ship out 800 Sky miners, and then 800 people immediately messaged us saying, I paid 1 Bitcoin 4 hours ago. Where's my tracking receipt? When am I getting it? I bought the Sky miner 4 hours ago and it hasn't arrived yet. When am I getting my Sky miner? I want my Sky miner. I want it now. Give me my Sky miner. When am I getting my Sky miner? And they're just constantly, so he sent out 600 Sky miners, and he got 3 emails per hour, basically, from 600 different people. So he has 3,000 emails in his account right now from people asking him for tracking numbers and receipts. And one guy he's basically, and he has 40 other things that he's trying to do too, and he's buried right now. So he's trying to hire a full-time person to deal with the support tickets before he just dies under this avalanche of emails. And that's only the first 600 Sky miners. And then we're shipping out another 1,000 probably next month. And we got an office, but then the office needs to be renovated. But then China is shut down for Chinese New Year, so now all the construction workers are on vacation for 3 weeks, and they don't even start working till mid March, or or next month, middle of the month, and then they have to pour the concrete and do the lighting and do the renovation, and then get the people in and start hiring them and then train them, and that takes a month. And then we have the support person, then he has to start going through the emails, and by the time he does that, we'll have shipped out another 1,000 Sky miners, and then we're going to have another 6,000 emails. So it's pretty crazy. We can't hire people fast enough, and we can't keep track of the support ticket. So even if the software is ready, we could release it. Like if we could release it tomorrow, We don't have the staff to deal with, oh, it didn't work. What do I do? I can't install it. I'm on Mac and it doesn't work. The instructions only work on Linux. It only works on Windows. It doesn't work on Windows ME. My Windows 95 computer can't run the, like half of China is still on Windows 98. So we actually had a lot of problems where it took us a year to get our Skycoin wallet working on Windows 98 because we thought no one in the world uses Windows 98. That's like 20 years old. How old is that? 20 years? Yeah. And they're still using, oh, not Windows 98, Windows XP. What are they using? Yeah, Windows 98, Windows XP. And we're getting all these emails from people complaining that it doesn't work on Windows XP. And then we had to have a full-time guy spend 4 months getting the wallet to work on like Windows XP or Windows 98 or some stuff. So dealing with the support tickets is a full-time job, and we're just getting the office set up to deal with the support and customer service and tracking, and it's a lot of work.
All right, I think that's all the time we have.
Yes, yes.
Very, very informational, very good. I think we've answered a lot of questions, maybe also cast away some doubts. Yeah, thanks for coming on to the MDL Newshour.
Yes, great.